Alrighty guys, welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. I was not expecting us to go live for today, but it turns out we have seen a lot of tornado warnings so far, so we are going to be doing some live coverage for quite a while. As you know, this wasn't really expected, but we will be going live to cover this as things do look to get quite interesting for today. And we didn't even expect this to even upgrade to an enhanced risk for today, unfortunately, but we definitely will be watching it closely. And so far we do have a tornado warning currently in effect for Springer in Oklahoma, all the way down there towards Lone Grove, Ardmore. You guys are currently under tornado warning, but we'll also have that potential for half-dollar size hail. As of right now is currently just indicated, and looking quite strong right there. And thankfully doesn't have any supercell shape to it, but if we do look at the rotation, we do have a little area of rotation in that area, so we will need to be watching that area very closely. So if you do, once again, if you do live across Ardmore, Lone Grove, Springer, or even areas up here towards Newport in Oklahoma, once again, make sure you are in your safe spots by going to the most interior room of your home, and you must have as many walls in between you and the outside as humanly possible. But tornado shelter or basement is the safest spot. So depending on what you have, that would be the safest spot. Because if you do have a tornado shelter, make sure to go to that, which would either be one of those house-shaped tornado shelters, or it would be one of those basements. But if you don't have a tornado shelter, like I said, make sure you go on into your most interior room of your home on the lowest floor possible. But once again, though, still got a tornado warning currently in effect for Ardmore, Lone Grove, and Springer there in Oklahoma. So once again, make sure to be in your safe spots if you do live across those areas. We also do have a pretty strong thunderstorm there for areas just around Oklahoma City. And just to look at this just a little bit better, we are watching for 60-mile-per-hour wind. We do have a tornado possible tag on this one, so make sure to watch out very closely if you do live in Oklahoma City. So once again, make sure to be watching this very closely still, as we will still have that potential for some high damaging winds and perhaps even some small hail. So, we will be keeping an eye on it, definitely, as, things are still on the concerning side of things. But once again, though, we will, be watching those areas very closely, as we will have that potential. So, yeah. But something else that I do want to show you guys is that we are, watching areas in Oklahoma closely for that potential of a tornado watch, which is currently ongoing. Damaging wind and tornado potential will increase, so we definitely will need to be watching those areas closely. We also do have a concerning tornado watch in effect for, areas around Oklahoma City. That's going to be, the potential for tornadoes and even some strong winds during the next few hours, so we will be watching those areas very closely. And like I said, that's a very concerning tornado watch right there. So once again, we will be watching those areas very closely, as we do currently have that enhanced risk for severe weather. And I'll go ahead and show you guys that, so that way you guys know. So let's go ahead and turn off radar for just a brief second. So if you guys are wondering what today's outlook looked like, starting off with today, where once again this did upgrade to an enhanced risk of severe weather. For what areas are expected to see severe weather, it's pretty good. Storm Prediction Center is really smart on where exactly things are occurring. And as you can see, we do have a tornado warning in that enhanced risk, so that's pretty good right there. Also, we do have a 10% risk for tornadoes for today, and that's pretty much for areas anywhere from Gainesville in Texas all the way up there towards Fort Smith, and Arkansas. So if you do live across those areas, make sure you are watching very closely and, of course, being weather aware for today. So even though this would have, stayed how it is right now, once again, we did see that upgrade to an enhanced risk, and that's why we are live on this channel currently. Also, there is that threat for 70 to 80 mile per hour winds in this red color, and we also do have a risk for some large hail, but hail doesn't really look to be a huge concern for today, as it is just slight. We still can't rule out some 2-inch in diameter hail, as conditions will still be favorable for that, but it doesn't really look to be as concerning though, like I said. So once again, we will keep an eye on it closely, but it doesn't really look to be anything too concerning by this point. So, definitely be watching out if you do live across those areas, as once again, conditions will be very favorable. Let's see here. Scene says hi there. Thank you so much for joining my live stream, my friend. Like I said, we were not expecting to go live today, but I'm glad you joined though. I'm hoping that we can keep you safe from any of this, potential severe weather, and like I said, we are gonna be live because of that. But once again though, we still got a tornado warning still in effect for areas down there towards Admore, Springer, and even Lone Grove in Oklahoma. Once again, we even got that potential for even some half-dollar size hail, but as of right now, tornado warnings just radar indicated, so you guys, don't really have to take, too much longer. Plus, it's also going to expire in 3 minutes, so still continue to be in your safe spots just in case, but this will expire pretty soon, so you guys could probably even come out of your safe spots right now. So once again, we will be watching, this area very closely, and we even got some storms up there to the north there of Oklahoma City that we will be watching for, and we will also be watching these areas up there to the north too as well. Let's see here. Tropical Depression 18 formed and soon will become referral. Yeah, I did hear about that. If you need me to show you that, I can. We didn't really go live for that though. We're mainly just focusing on that potential for tornado outbreak both today and tomorrow. But you are right though. It has formed, and looks to be a hurricane by the time it reaches Cuba, but then will continue near Louisiana as potentially a tropical storm. It will be reaching cooler waters by the time it gets near the coastal areas, but it doesn't really look to be a hurricane though, especially because those waters will be very cool. So we will definitely be keeping an eye on that very closely, as it does look to be on the concerning side of things. So yeah, and I will be right back. Hold on just a second. Alright. Sorry about that, guys. That was just some weird beeping noise going on in my background. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I was trying to get that out of the way so that way you guys didn't, complain about it. But anyway, like I said, we still are watching areas in Oklahoma like Admore, Springer, down there towards Lone Grove. You guys still got a tornado warning for another minute or two, but once again, that is going to expire in just a second. So I would probably say you're okay to come out of your safe spots unless they do issue another tornado warning. So once again, make sure to be paying attention very closely if you do live across that area. So yeah, we'll definitely be watching that. Let's go ahead and turn on some storm chasers now. We have not seen storm chasers just yet, and as you guys can see, Connor Croft is currently in that tornado warning. We probably should have looked at this earlier so that way we could see exactly what was happening, but as you guys can see, Connor Croft is currently live. And he's currently there in Admore, Oklahoma. We also got storm chaser Vince Walty. He's currently live in Oklahoma as well. So we will definitely be watching him as well, as he's also in that tornado warning. But that tornado warning has just expired now, but we still got that considerable severe storm warning in effect for 1-inch hail and 70 70-mile-per-hour winds. So come out of your safe spots, but you guys should not go outside though, as the storm is still likely producing quarter-size hail and especially 70-mile-per-hour winds. So once again, you can come out of your safe spots, but you should not be going outside, as we still got that potential for very large hail and as well as damaging winds. Let's see here. You're from Gainesville. What Gainesville are you talking about? Are you talking about Gainesville, Oklahoma? I'm not really sure where Gainesville is, so let me go ahead and quickly check. Gaines. Are you talking about like Gainesville, Kansas, or Gainesville, in Tennessee? I'm not really sure exactly where that is, my friend, but that's okay though. But once again though, we still got some severe warnings still in effect for parts there of Oklahoma. Let's see, Gainesville, Virginia. Oh, okay. I'll quickly go ahead and see that. I never heard of Gainesville, Oklahoma. Okay, Gainesville, Virginia. Okay, yeah, I know where that is now. Yeah, that's pretty far away from where we're doing from the area that we're doing live coverage for, but that's still an area that may need to be watching out for, the later part of these storm systems as it rolls on through with, some rain likely around. But, like I said, we're mainly going to be doing coverage for this area, as you guys can see. And once again, though, we still got that potential for tornadoes and even some damaging winds around the Oklahoma City area. We even got, severe thunderstorm warning just to the north and south, including the Oklahoma City suburbs. So we will need to be watching those areas closely, and we even got some storm chasers still around in this storm, as it was, tornado warning. But like I said, that tornado warning did expire, so it's not as concerning as it was. But I still wouldn't be surprised if this did get another tornado warning pretty soon. And we will, like I said, we will be live for a little while to cover this, as this is still pretty concerning. And so yeah, and if we look at any new news from the Storm Prediction Center, I'm just gonna quickly refresh this, and not too much news, but so far we've seen a lot of reports of damaging winds though for today. If you guys didn't know that, we mainly had damaging wind reports. Thankfully, no tornado reports yet, but it's mainly going to be now and later when we will see that potential for tornadoes. So once again, we will be watching it closely, but as of right now, that still does remain a little bit uncertain on how exactly it will play out later today. So we will be watching it very closely, but I don't think it's going to be, at least not as bad as of right now. But by the time we do head into the evening hours, this is where we should start to see that tornado. But yeah, and we definitely are still watching these areas around Oklahoma City for that potential of both severe wind and hail, as we still got that risk for even a tornado around too as well. So once again, we are going to be watching those areas very closely, as we will still even have that potential for even some very large hail. So once again, we will be watching it very closely, as we just have 4 severe warnings still in effect for those areas. And we are still watching these storm chasers as they do kind of drive around the storm right there. And once again, it is still capable of producing some 1-inch hail and 70-mile-per-hour wind, which once again is very considerable, not necessarily because of the hail, but more because of the wind, as it could definitely cause damage to shingles. It could even cause some damage to power lines. That's really what 70-mile-per-hour winds can do. So make sure you are still indoors and as well as away from windows, as that potential is still going to be there. But once again, We do have that enhanced risk for severe weather if you are just joining here. If you guys haven't saw this yet, once again, we are letting you guys know that we went live because this did upgrade to an enhanced risk, came from Fort Smith, Arkansas, all the way down into, parts there of Gainesville in Texas. So we will need to be watching those areas, very closely. We also do have a risk for tornadoes as well, because as you guys can see, we do have a 5% risk for tornadoes around the Oklahoma City, Tulsa area, but we also do have that 10% chance for tornadoes especially, and that's one of the main reasons why we went live today. So once again, if you do live in that 10% risk for tornadoes, make sure you are paying attention, as this is likely going to be a pretty big situation for both today and as well as tomorrow, as once again we will have that potential for tornadoes. So make sure you are paying attention, my friends. But once again, though, we are still going to be watching these areas in Oklahoma City, all the way down there towards Admore, where, like I said, we are having some storm chasers, in that area, as, that does still look to be an area to really be watching closely, as it still has the potential to produce anywhere from 70 to 80 mile per hour winds, and once again, even got that risk for even some small, large hail as well in that storm. So, we will continue to watch it very closely, and if it does get tornado warned again, it might be because of this part right here, as it's kind of, supercell, look right there, especially in the bottom part of it. So we will need to be watching that area very closely. And if we look at the velocity again, not really seeing much in the way of any rotation. Worst case is that we may end up seeing, another tornado warning get issued pretty soon, but it's not really looking too bad as of right now. So once again, we will be watching it, but it doesn't really look to be the worst just yet. But, feel free to leave any questions about that down in the chat. Like I said, we are going to continue to stay live for this, for quite a bit of today, as we will have that potential for, even a few strong tornadoes. Not likely because we don't have a hatched risk, but it is, possible, and of course can't be ruled out, as conditions are still going to be on the favorable side of things. So once again, make sure you are paying attention if you do live across this area. We still got some severe warnings still in effect for Oklahoma, as we will still have that potential for some damaging winds and large hail heading from Edmond, Oklahoma, all the way back down there into Ardmore, like I said. So we will need to be watching those areas closely too, as well, as once again we are still going to be keeping an eye on that very closely. So, we definitely aren't gonna, it's obviously not a guarantee that that's what we're gonna see, but once again, it is still something that we are gonna be keeping an eye on very closely. And, like I said, should start ramping up as we head to the evening hours. And while conditions are, starting to calm down a little bit, let's go ahead and actually start talking about that. So let's go ahead and turn the radar off and let's go to models, okay? So like I said, while it's a little bit calm, let's go ahead and go to models, and we'll know if something happens because we still got the warnings popped up. So if we go ahead and take a look at these models, and this model, this is the ARRR model. Let's go ahead and see what it shows. So as we head, right around the evening hours, around 7 p.m., we will still be doing with quite a bit of activity. But if we go a little bit before that, this is about what's happening right now. But it's a pretty big change, as we might even see a line of storms form by the time we head near 7 p.m. this evening. And that will continue towards the east of even as we head to 9, 10 o'clock tonight, and even into, midnight as well. So make sure you are paying attention to these storms if you do live in, I think that's called Tallulah, I think that's how you say it, and as well as Tulsa, Fort Smith. Make sure you are paying attention to those areas. And then, we also will have that potential for storms once again across the Oklahoma City area. So this is mainly what we're expecting expecting as we head into the evening hours for today. And if we take a look at that supercell composite, this is what we like to look at a lot, whenever, we are dealing with that potential for severe weather as well. This is, mainly what's given us a good idea about what to expect. So if we go ahead and go there, and, if we go back, and take this forward, and as you guys can see, got some areas of very high supercell composite across northern Texas during the next few hours. So not only Oklahoma but also Texas will need to be watching closely, and that does look to start ramping up by the time we head into tomorrow, with once again that potential for some severe weather and even some severe thunderstorms. And whenever we do see those tomorrow, we will likely even see that risk for strong tornadoes once again. So make sure you are paying attention very, very closely as we head to tomorrow, with once again still that potential for some pretty big time storms for tomorrow. So once again, make sure you are watching very closely. Let's go back there to the radar again and see what's happening, because we still haven't gotten any tornado warnings just yet, but we are still going to be watching this very closely, as this still is looking to be a pretty big problem by this point. So once again, make sure you are paying attention to this. And we also are still watching these storm chasers. Like I said, we got Brandon Kopic getting ready to head more into that storm. We got Corey Gherkin. Looks like he's in front of a train right now, and I actually never seen this happen before. That's pretty strange. I have not seen a storm chaser been in a train situation like this. Like I said, this is pretty strange. I have not seen anything like this before, and what do you think the chances are of you getting in front of a train moving? I mean, I guess it could be high, but I mean, like I said, I've never seen something like this happen before on one of the Storm Chaser streams, so, we're not really going to be looking at this for, ever, but, like I said, we even got, Connor Croft as round 2 as well, and once again still got Corey Gherkin down there. And if we zoom in, let's see, yeah, he's kind of in an area that does actually have some train tracks around. That train track is probably at least somewhere right there. And yeah, we can kind of tell from how it's shaped, but that, like I said, that I have not seen anything like that before, as that storm chaser still was in front of the train. But once again, though, we are still watching even these areas around the Oklahoma City area for that potential of still some small hail and even some damaging winds up to 60, 70 miles per hour. So we will be watching those areas very closely still, as those, even have a tornado possible tag on them. So once again, make sure you are watching out if you do live around the Oklahoma City area, because once again, that is going to be an area that does have that potential for tornadoes. And so, make sure to be watching that area very closely. And, once again, we even got the storm still ongoing down here towards, parts there of Admore, even up there towards Springer, Mill Creek, Sculpture, even Madai. You guys are still under a severe thunderstorm warning for core-size hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds. And, like I said, we'll definitely be watching it still. And, something else I wanted to let you guys know about is that Ryan Hall, y'all, is currently live. He is covering, this, same situation too as well. And, he should even be live as we head into tomorrow. That's especially when I'm planning on being live, as once again, we still got that risk for a couple of strong tornadoes. We just got to go back to see that, because for tomorrow, like I said, we do have that risk for strong tornadoes tornadoes heading from the Dallas-Fort Worth area all the way up there near areas just to the east of Tulsa. We also do have that, same risk for damaging winds, and of course that risk for some large hail for tomorrow. So once again, this is why we are also going to try to be live tomorrow too, as well as, tomorrow might even be a little bit more concerning, especially because tomorrow has a hatched risk on it. When we looked at today's threat, it did not have a hatched risk, but tomorrow does, which means, we will have a little bit higher of a risk for a strong tornado or two tomorrow. So I would recommend being more weather aware tomorrow, as that tornado threat will likely be on the higher side of things across those areas in eastern Oklahoma, and as well as parts there of northeast Texas. So make sure you're paying attention to that. We also once again still have that risk for some strong damaging winds for tomorrow, up to 70-80 miles per hour, and of course once again even that risk for some large hail as well. So we will need to be watching those areas very, very closely. Back to the radar again, things, are still continuing to calm down, fortunately, but it's something, we will still be live for, because we are expecting things once again to start getting, pretty, numerous by the time we head into the evening hours, with, once again, still that risk for both damaging winds, large hail, and perhaps, a brief strong tornado or two today. Because, like I said, we did not have that hatched risk, but I am still not rolling out a strong tornado, as conditions are still, pretty favorable. So, once again, we are going to, continue to stay live for this, as, things are still on the concerning side of things. And Ryan Hall is also still live too as well. And looking at these storm chasers again, we still got some in the way of, some storm activity going on. If we look at Connor's Croft stream, Connor's driving through some very heavy rainfall, so we can't really see exactly what's going on, but he's definitely in an area that we do need to be watching. So yeah, we'll definitely be watching it closely, like I said. But areas just to the north there of Oklahoma City are still currently under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and perhaps some small hail too as well. So once again, make sure you're watching out if you do live just to the north there of Edmore in Oklahoma. So we will be watching those areas very closely. We also, will be watching areas, even down here once again. But, we don't really have anything else going on besides these two warnings. I would still recommend, be watching out very closely if you do live around the Oklahoma City area, because once again, we are still going to have that potential for large hail and, perhaps some damaging winds, like I said. And, I kind of do want to look at the Storm Prediction Center again, just in case we do have anything going on, because as you guys can see, if we refresh this again, we are still going to be watching. So yeah, but it turns out the only new thing on the Storm Prediction Center is this, as scattered strong to severe storms are expected to increase in this area, and then it says a watch is possible. It's not very high though, at least for the probability of a watch. So once again, it is possible, but it doesn't sound like it's really going to be a tornado watch, though, as areas far to the north aren't going to really be at risk for anything too strong, because, as you guys can see, for the enhanced risk, like I said, for today, those areas farther to the north won't be as high of a risk of tornadoes. That chance of tornadoes will be a little bit on the lower side of things farther to the north, but will still, be very possible, as, we still got that 2% risk for tornadoes still in play. So, once again, make sure you are definitely watching out, as this is still likely going to continue to be something to continue to watch for very closely. And let's see. But yeah, we definitely, once again, will be watching, some other areas very closely, as, once again, we are still gonna have that potential around. And if we go ahead and, let me just making sure my things are right, because we can do a few things, but we definitely, once again, are going to still be watching these areas closely, as we still will have that potential for some damaging winds across both Oklahoma heading down there into Texas, so we will need to be watching those areas very closely. I haven't tried this before. I'm just gonna go ahead and see what happens, because I was thinking about maybe we try this to do the thing, because let's see, I'm gonna turn on notifications, so I think whenever it pulls up, it should create an alarm noise. So let's see. I'm just making sure desktop notifications, which that should mean it will pull up, and let's see, desktop alert sound. Sure, that will be on. Okay, so I think that's good for tornado warnings. For severe thunderstorm warnings, though, let's go ahead and do a little bit of something with that. We're gonna turn desktop notifications on, and we're also going to do the alert sound as well. So that way you guys hear that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my desktop audio a little bit high. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna turn it on. I'm not sure if that's gonna be too loud, but you guys can control your sound if it's a little bit too loud for you guys. But I think I'm gonna turn it about halfway. I think that should be about right. About halfway should be good. So we'll see if it works. If it doesn't, I'll obviously turn it off. But I'm just hoping that this will help. Let you guys know on if there's a tornado warning in effect or not. Let's see the sound. I should probably turn alarm on for tornadoes, and I should probably even turn the sound on for also severe thunderstorm warnings for alarm. So I think we are good. I think we are good. We are good, I think. Yep. I'm just making sure everything is, good and on, ready to go, so that way, we don't have to worry about this too much. So yeah, I think it's going to be good. So let's see. Let's see here. And just got a new severe thunderstorm warning. I don't think it was on when this popped up, but as you guys can see, though, we still got a tornado warning still in effect for those areas. But, once again, though, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for those areas like, Ada, back down there towards, Colgate, and as well as those areas down there towards, Caddo in Oklahoma. So, yeah, we will definitely be watching those areas very closely once again. So yeah, we'll definitely be watching those areas very closely. We still don't have any tornado warnings in effect, but it turns out that let's see, the Storm Prediction Center. I think they have issued a tornado watch far to the east. I'm just gonna go ahead and see that. We're gonna go ahead and quickly refresh. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they did issue. I'm pretty sure they did issue a tornado watch. It's just for areas, far to the east. Yeah, yeah. We can actually kind of see it right there as well. But once again, though, we don't have any tornado warnings currently in effect, but we are still going to be watching those areas closely, as we will still have that potential for, once again, some, pretty big storms around, so we will need to be watching those areas, very closely. Let's see, I think I'm gonna Let's see, and I think I'm just gonna quickly go ahead and change something real quick, because I'm obviously gonna keep all those on. Let's see, let's go ahead and turn this on as well. Let's see, let's do in the finite, which I think will mean, it will go off whenever there's one. And then let's see. There we go. Let's do push notifications on as well, and we'll also do the same thing with. And I think we're also going to do the same thing with severe warnings. Okay, there we go. So we'll see what happens. I am still getting used to radar. I am still getting used to radar Omega. Okay. So yeah, if you guys are wondering what that does, these are the flashes right there. That indicates, where severe thunderstorm warnings are currently are. I don't think we need that on, but. Mm. And this is gonna expire pretty soon. So yeah, we definitely will be watching those areas down there, very closely, as once again we still got that potential for, some severe storms once again, so we will be watching those areas very closely. And I don't think we need the flashing on, so I'm actually going to turn that off. Yeah, I'm going to turn that off. But anyway, though, we are still, going to be watching those areas down there in Oklahoma very closely, as we still got that potential. And I'm sorry about that background noise, guys. That's just my kid. That's just my siblings in the background. So I apologize if you heard that. But once again, though, we are still going to be watching a lot of these areas very closely as we still have that potential. So yeah, we once again we are going to be watching it still. We are starting to see more of these warnings expire. So we might have to end the live stream about now. Things are going to continue to die down and calm down quite a bit. It was super active earlier, and I'm still expecting it to get even more active, but. And that's kind of still a little iffy by this point on if it's, even going to continue to stay that way or not. We're hoping that everything really does die down so that way we can end our stream. But, if we continue to see this, that'll be some bad news right there. And once again, we are going to continue to stay live if that does end up happening then. So, once again, we are still going to be watching those areas very closely. We still haven't gotten any new warnings yet. But, once again, we are still going to be watching it, though, as this does continue to move towards the east. I'm hoping that we do get one soon, so that way I can hear if my things are working. I know we haven't got one yet, but I would really like one to be, so that way I can hear if these things are working. Like I said, I'm not sure if they are, but like I said, I'm gonna try them to see if they work, because if they do work right and how I want them to work, then I'll continue to keep it how it is, and I'm trying to do that so that way you guys can get an alert on if there's a tornado warning or not. And I mean this costs a lot of money, guys, to get all these features on Radar Omega. So what I would recommend doing is subscribing to my channel, because that will help a lot whenever I do that type of stuff. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe, especially so that way we can help spread the message as we head into tomorrow. And like I said, things are very calm right now, but even though they may start calming down right now, we are going to plan on being live tomorrow, which tomorrow may actually be a little bit more in the way of tornado outbreaks. So we will need to be watching tomorrow very closely once again. And we'll have to see if some of these storms do continue to stay strong, but it turns out that a lot of this is really starting to go down a lot. So we will still be watching it very closely, as that potential is still going to be there during the next few hours. And so yeah, we will definitely continue to watch it closely. But let's see. Yeah, so we still got even these areas down there towards Ardmore, like I said, that we are still going to be watching. It's not likely that this is going to be super strong, but we are still going to be watching it very closely, as we still do have that potential around. So we will still watch that. We also, still do have that potential once again for, some pretty big storms around still. So once again, we will definitely continue to watch this very closely. And like I said, feel free to leave any questions, comments, or concerns down in the chat. Especially if you guys are wondering about how this is gonna play out. But you guys can leave anything down in the chat as long as you're respectful. And like I said, subscribing will help out a lot to the channel, because like I said, we are doing live coverage to help keep you guys safe, and we want to try to keep other people safe too as well. So I would really recommend you guys subscribing, because I mean, we're really trying to get up there towards 700 subscribers, and the more subscribers we can get to, the more likely we are to help keep more people safe. So once again, make sure to subscribe, guys. This is very important. We need to help spread the message message. And, if you guys are also wondering, subscribing is free. Once again, we are, wanting everyone to stay safe, and subscribing helps spread the message. It's absolutely free to do. Just click that subscribe button, and there you go. That's all you need to do, and it's completely free. So make sure to subscribe if you have not subscribed already. If we check back at the Storm Prediction Center again, and we refresh this, we still don't have any new updates yet from the Storm Prediction Center, but we will still continue to watch very closely, as this is still going to continue to bring that potential for some pretty big severe storms both today and perhaps even into tomorrow. So once again, we are still going to be watching those areas very closely. So, we definitely are still gonna keep an eye on that. And, once again, nothing too much is ongoing across, parts there of Oklahoma. We might want to end this live stream pretty soon if it's going to continue to be like this. And the least I can say is that, and the least I can say, like I said, is that, we may not really be seeing a whole lot tonight. I will go live again just in case we do end up seeing some in the way of tornado activity. But once again, though, I don't think it's gonna get that bad. We will probably be live for like another 10-20 minutes just in case some things do start to ramp up. But as of right now, though, nothing too much has ramped up just yet. So once again, we are gonna be watching it very closely, but it's not really looking at like anything too concerning just yet. But we will still continue to watch this closely. And we are still watching areas down there towards Oklahoma again. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at some of these other radars, just to kind of see what's happening across the U.S. We kind of got some interesting things going on, and like I said, we're mainly doing live coverage for this area down there. And I mean, like I said, if things stop being active, we may have to end the stream pretty soon. And I think I'm also gonna turn on special weather statements. So because I do think that will actually help a lot. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and do alarm. And let's see, we're also gonna go ahead and turn all these on, because we actually usually see more special weather statements compared to and anything else. Because let's see, I'm just making sure it's good. Yeah, we should be good. We should be good. Because we usually get more special weather statements. So this should go off if we end up seeing one. Because like I said, I want to make sure this is working right. And so once again, we are gonna watch it closely. But we did get a special weather statement down here towards Luffin, Texas, it looks like. And we even got some more up here towards Marshall, Texas, with that potential for gusty winds of 40 miles per hour and perhaps some small hail. So we will be watching those areas very closely as this still looks to continue. We also still got another special weather statement down there towards Albany, with once again that potential for winds up to 45 miles per hour and of course some small hail. And we even still got one ongoing across the Oklahoma City area. We should get another special weather statement pretty soon, so we're just gonna go ahead and wait for a little bit. But we definitely are gonna also be trying to watch a lot of these storms well ahead of what's really happening. Because I mean, this one right there is looking a little bit interesting, as you guys can see. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to try to make this a little bit different, so that way you guys can tell. Let's see. I'm just seeing how this works, just to see what exactly is happening. But once again, though, we are still going to continue to watch a lot of these areas very closely, as these still do look to kind of be on the concerning side of things. Doesn't look like we've still gotten any special weather statements just yet, but once again, we are going to still continue to be live for just a little bit, so that way, we can get a good idea on what's happening. And I am pretty tired, by the way, though. It's kind of getting a little bit late out here, but whoops. But we are still watching a lot of these areas closely. Oh, really? You gotta be kidding me right now. It looks like there's a huge special weather statement in effect for the downtown Phoenix area. I did not expect this. Wow. 30-mile-per-hour winds and pea-sized hail. We were not expecting severe weather over here towards, parts there of Phoenix, Arizona at all. That's pretty strange. We also don't really see a whole lot of severe weather in Phoenix this time of year, but unfortunately, we did get a warning down there. But once again, though, not really seeing anything ramping up too much. Like I said, if things, stop being active, we may end it pretty soon here, which I hope we don't have to, because like I said, we're only going to be live if there's tornado warnings around. And like I said, if there is a tornado warning pretty soon, we will continue to stay live. But if there isn't, though, we will end the stream and we might end up going live again. I may not even be live this evening anymore, because I actually do have quite a bit of things to do. But once again, that's really just going to be on if this continues to stay calm or not. And we are still going to be watching those areas just to the north there of Oklahoma City, north and east there of Oklahoma City. So once again, we are still going to continue to watch it. I'm just going to go ahead and quickly but so we are going to continue to watch those areas down there closely. And so yeah. And we also are gonna still continue to watch even some more areas closely. Like we even got some isolated storms down here towards Marshall and Texas, like I said. And if we go ahead and take a look at that by selecting a radar, no, not looking too concerning, but that storm is definitely looking like it could, maybe strengthen a little bit these next couple of hours. So we will, continue to watch those ones closely. And we are still also watching these storms up there, towards parts of Oklahoma still, as those areas are still on the table for some potentially large hail, some damaging winds, as well as these continue to move towards the east. Once again, though, we are still going to continue to watch it just in case some things may start to get a little bit more on the active side of things, but it doesn't really seem to be, increasing too much. We are expecting some of these to increase during the next few hours, but if I mean, this may just be a bust now, especially if this, is gonna continue to stay like this. And like I said, we are gonna still be live for another few minutes or so because this is still on the concerning side of things for what we can expect during the next few hours. So once again, we are still going to be watching some of these areas very closely as that's still gonna be something to watch for. We still got, storms moving through Oklahoma City and, even areas up there into, Stillwater. And those areas like that are still continuing to see a little bit of, issues during the next couple of hours. So we will still continue to watch those areas closely. But things are even calming down even more because I'm seeing way less special weather statements now. And like I said, we are still gonna continue to be live for just a little bit longer. So because some of these storms that are already showing up just to the north of Dallas, still look like they may be capable of producing some hail, some wind, especially if these continue to strengthen more. I think we might have just got a new one somewhere, but I'm not. Yeah, yeah, we actually just got a new special weather statement there for areas north of Marshall. So that tells me that my thing isn't working. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's really wrong with it. But let me see here and see why it may not be working. Because I didn't put use current location, because I think that means you use where my location is, but gosh, that's confusing. I think I'm just gonna put use current location. That might be why it hasn't been working as well. And let me just make sure that's on there with the rest of them, because like I said, I was hoping it would work, but it doesn't really sound like it is though. But all of them are on and good to go, I think. So like I said, I just put use current location for where I am right now. But okay, but things are really starting to calm down a lot. I think we're gonna go ahead and end this live stream right here, guys. I really do appreciate you guys joining me a lot. Sorry that I've been messing with some tools throughout this live stream to help me figure out how to do live coverage better and to also get some other things ongoing. But like I said, I'm really glad you guys did join my live stream. We will go live again if needed, but it doesn't really seem like we are gonna, have to go live again for a little bit, as, conditions are already starting to go, really calm again. But, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will try to be live as we head to tomorrow. Still, going to be covering that risk for some strong tornadoes. So once again, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure to leave a like too as well. And also make sure to leave any questions, comments, or concerns down there in the chat after this live stream. And like I said, we will go live again if needed, but as of right now, does not look like anything too concerning. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.